Hey everyone, and welcome back. I'm just getting ready here to go into our board meeting here on January 14th. So I wanted to give you my update from the last two board meetings. So this is the Academic Senate President's Report for December 2019, and now that we're in 2020, January 2020. So let me dive into the agenda a little bit, and as always, if you want more information specific to any of the agenda items that are covered in a board meeting, you can talk to me personally, or you can go to Board Docs, you can listen to the podcast, and that way you have more in-depth insights about the nuances of what was discussed in the board meeting. So let's take a look at the two board meetings now. Okay, let's look then at some of the items from the Board of Trustees meeting from December 17th, 2019. First off, congratulations to our new Board of Trustees President and former LTCC employee, Nancy Dalton. I know she's going to do a great job, and we're excited to see that the board has a new president. At the same time, we're very pleased to say congratulations to outgoing board president Jeff Cowan, who did an amazing job in terms of leading meetings and doing all that important work between the Board of Trustees, the Superintendent President, the advisory committees, and other groups as well. So congratulations to both Jeff and Nancy. Next, I wanted to report on Megan Waskowitz's report on TEDx. It looked like TEDx was absolutely an outstanding event. I didn't get a chance to attend, but perhaps many of you did. If you want to see the highlights, you can click on this agenda item and get more information about TEDx, and she gave an overview of the event, the sponsors, the value of having this level of community engagement in terms of what a big event can help produce for LTCC. And the board also commented on the success of it. Next, President DeFranco presented on the current FHP process, and again, this is the faculty hiring prioritization process that is developed jointly through the Academic Senate and the LTCC Senior Leadership Team or Administration. And so this year, as you know, the Academic Senate, using a panel of faculty who had no stake in the game per se in terms of their programs, were not proposing a potential hire for a new faculty member. Those individuals reviewed and crunched all the data and looked at the arguments being made. The district made the recommendation to hire a full-time sociology faculty member, and it is an ongoing process. You probably know that hire closes. The applications are due the end of February or so. For any of these, you can go to the HR Human Resources website, of course, through ltcc.edu. and look at the information in case you want to pass this on to anyone. And it was also noted in the minutes here that additional faculty needs will be considered throughout the year based on grant funding and retirement notification. So not to be pushy or anything, but obviously if there's a retirement notification that gives the potential for the district maybe to look at some additional hires. And I don't know what that process would look like. Presumably there would be dialogue back with the Academic Senate, particularly if it was a retirement of a faculty member who wasn't being planned for in terms of the FHP process. So we'll just keep that on our radar in case there are any retirement notifications this year. And as we always know, just because someone retires a position in these times, it doesn't mean that position will be automatically filled. There have been a number of positions over the years. I think maybe the first one goes back to Sharon Susan's when we had two full-time music faculty members. So depending on just the classes involved, the load, the program, changes in demographics, changes in repeatability, as we know about, unfortunately, a lot of things could happen that could result in the administration, the president, the board ultimately not recommending a retirement be replaced. So just kind of good to note that. Next, we had Action 9.3, and this is another new position. The board unanimously voted for this, and it's the job description for Senior Director of Government Relations and Grant Development. If you're curious about this, it is a senior level administrative position in terms of salary and responsibilities, and you can certainly check that out on the Human Resources website, as this job is also currently being advertised for. So if you know anyone who might be interested, you could, with all these positions, pass on the information to our website. 9.7, consideration and approval to open formal recruitment for a 1.0 full-time employee international student program coordinator. So you know that the current individual, Marta, who is the director of the program, is in a point, I want to say, is it 0.7 or 0.8? I don't have that in front of me right now. You can certainly check that out. But this would be to create a 1.0 position. And the board also approved this, so that is certainly ready to go. And you probably note that with a few of these hires coming up, or some of the ones that have been hired, like University Center Coordinator, Connect Office. Over the years, what the board and the superintendent president often do is look at a particular position within a program to see if the demand is there. So sometimes it seems like they start conservatively, like with 0.7 or 0.75, and then if there is demand, if the position seems to be fiscally prudent for the district, they can maybe up that to a full-time position in this case with the International Student Program Coordinator. And there certainly is a lot of information that Marta presented back a few meetings ago that I also summarized in a previous video. So if you want more general information about the International Student Program, please refer to some of the previous board meetings and also my reports for more on that and that position. There was an announcement about Superintendent President Jeff DeFranco's professional development leave, which I believe is focused on emotional intelligence, and he's splitting that into two 30-day leaves. So right now, Rusty Egan is serving as acting president, and I believe he is coming back early part of February. So we certainly look forward to him coming back to campus then in February, and we wish him well on his PDL leave. Also, action item 9.1, consideration of approval of student expulsion. This passed unanimously, and the result was the expulsion of a student. I don't know, and presumably only a few people know on campus who was the subject of this expulsion. So it's one of those things we don't know the reason or the person. So unfortunately, I can't tell you any more about that. And of course, it's to protect student confidentiality. So that's all I have on that particular item, but it is part of the public minutes of the board meeting and also the agenda. So no additional information to offer you on that. So let's move to the Board of Trustees meeting for January 14th, 2020. Quite a few new employee introductions. If you have been around HR, you know they're always working hard and long hours, working on all these hiring committees and trying to get people hired and doing all the tasks that relate to the extensive process of hiring a new employee regardless of their position. So please welcome, if you have already met Kenya, she is our new office assistant in the instruction office, so you'll see her friendly face when you walk into the office. I had a chance to meet her the other day when Lori Thorne was taking her around and making the introduction. So we have Kenya in there, and of course also newly hired, we have Kelsey and also Sarah. So please say hi to all our new instruction office staff if you get the chance. Shauna Brunea is the new program coordinator of Student Life, and some of these aren't necessarily being introduced at tonight's meeting, but they are being hired. So I usually take the board agendas and try to include everybody who has been hired up until this point. So haven't met her yet, but we welcome her to campus as well, our new program coordinator of Student Life. Kelsey Kolonen also is our new research analyst. You've probably seen her on campus. She was hired some time back, but because of scheduling, wasn't able to come to a meeting until tonight. So we finally get to meet her tonight at the meeting, so congratulations to her. Also, you already know Tara Offenbacher, our new permanent University Center coordinator, so we congratulate her, and a very familiar face on campus. Ryan Philpott, new director of fiscal services. So new part-time faculty as well. Quite a few part-time faculty are hired on a every meeting basis. If you go through the board agenda, you in some cases have 10 new part-time faculty being hired. Unfortunately, I don't often have the time or space to congratulate all of them, but certainly as I think about my new role in onboarding, I'm trying to work as closely as possible as I can with our new part-time faculty. So if you see some new faces on campus, if you see some new folks teaching for us, ISP, DE, face-to-face, please give them a warm welcome to campus and show them your support regardless of what they're teaching for us or regardless of their faculty duties on campus. There was also a resignation of our board policy and governance assistant, so I know that that position will be re-advertised shortly. Very likely it will probably be an interim person, as we did maybe with the housing coordinator, but I'll let the folks involved in that decision tell you more about that, and you'll probably get some more communication very shortly about it. Again, Acting President Russie Egan gave her report. Winter enrollment update. I know that winter enrollments are very strong, so congratulations to all of you, the faculty, who make this possible. We always seem to have stronger and stronger enrollments every quarter, and a lot of that has to do with how diversified our FTS base is, so congratulations to all involved there. Also heard very good things about Snow Globe this time around. I know that the security and a lot of the processes that in the first couple years of Snow Globe have been improved over time, so congratulations to all involved with making Snow Globe another success here on campus. It was really exciting to hear Treva Thomas's professional development leave. She worked on a number of projects that involved open educational resource materials and the development of a potential business information worker employable skills certificate and certificate of achievement. It's really exciting to see this, that a lot of the PDL reports are tailored at things like our new emphases in stackable certificates that connect to guided pathways, or things related to innovation in DE instruction. And it's cool to see that this potential program would enable students to earn industry-recognized skills and credentials leading to employment and job advancement. So this fits in very nicely with the emphasis of guided pathways and moving away from sort of the traditional way of doing things with instruction of the past. So exciting to hear that from Treva. You can click on the PDF of her report and also see slides of her presentation. It was really exciting to see two of these tonight. The second one was Mike Spina, and Mike did his PDL looking at enhancing his knowledge of nutrition and elevating skills in online instruction. He enrolled in an online nutrition course to better understand the student experience in the DE modality, and he also adapted some of his own instructional methods, spent some time researching open source textbooks, and providing a low-cost option for PEH 101, which is the nutrition class. So it's really exciting to see that so many faculty are using their PDLs in such a current sense, connecting with initiatives with open educational resources, guided pathways, innovations in DE education. So I'm just really proud to see that faculty are using these opportunities with the PDLs to do things that are very current and relevant to student outcomes and opportunities for students. So congratulations to both Treva and Mike this time around doing their PDL reports. There were a number of curricular changes. I won't go into the weeds on these, but you can read certainly all the information from the board packet, and you can also find this in a lot of other places through the Academic Senate and so forth. So information presented about the revised CIS Information Technology Technician, Cybersecurity Degree and Certificate, and some changes to the existing CIS degree and certificate as noted in the catalog. Again, a lot of these changes relate to opportunities in guided pathways and having a more career-centered approach to thinking about some of these certificates. Also, revision of environmental science and technology certificates, new courses for environmental science and technology, and there were 3 of those that are new, and then a discussion of the existing technology and sustainability degree and certificate. I think a lot of interest in this particular area because of Lake Tahoe and the idea of how successful EVS could be for our particular school given where we live. In addition, there is a move towards guided pathways stackable awards for GE certificates, and there are 4 proposed certificates. As you can see, they follow all of our pathways. If you've been at a meeting and you've heard one of our counseling faculty present the pink sheet or the gray sheet or the yellow sheet, this is basically these patterns that you already see, but it's just trying to create certificates then that are accomplishments that will help us with our funding formula, and then also presumably will help our students because they have these certificates that show they've accomplished something in terms of being able to then transfer to a UC or CSU or achieve the Golden Forest certification or so forth. In addition, there were a number of new courses that were passed at tonight's meeting. These all went through our curriculum committee. I recommend you look at these if you'd like to see, for example, some of those EVS courses. Poli-Sci 101. I believe there was a new choral class that was recently adopted in the music department. So a lot of miscellaneous courses, but very important. So if you want to check those out, click on the board agenda and you can read about those. I want to move away from the board topics and talk a little bit just about my teaching talks. And if you've had a chance to do that, you could simply go to the Workshops tab. And when you click on the Workshops tab, you will see all the upcoming talks. And I also sent this out as a color PDF flyer. So these have all the topics for basically the rest of the quarter. There's a couple to be announced ones at the end, which will be webinars on the syllabus and student behavior. And then I've even put in here going all the way through June as well, to try to give you a sense of what the topics will be and when those are. And I'm sending out calendar invites as we speak. I just sent out all the winter invites. And then you can always look at the archive. So go to the archive, the topic is presented, and you can then click on any resources and also the video, and that will take you to the archives, and you can basically watch what we discussed on those talks. And as well, anytime you want to take part in an activity, one of these Tuesday talks, if you're not local to the LTCC campus, please join us virtually. You can ask questions and we'll try to answer those questions, and you can be part of the conversation. So I wanted to mention those. It's really exciting to see so many of you participating in the Tuesday talks. I look forward to more participation of all faculty out there, and really all people on the LTCC campus who have an interest in one of these topics. Also, I'm doing some changes to the onboarding website. You'll notice in the opening screen on home, I have a faculty onboarding chart. I'm developing some additional information over time. This will be built out such that when you're hired on, there'll be a clear pathway for you to follow to get all your trainings, to get certified in Canvas and all that kind of fun stuff. So more to come on that. Be on the lookout in the next month or so about more information about the faculty onboarding process. And thank you all for your suggestions as you offer them to me about the process. I would just say then lastly, if there are any questions out there, again, as always, send me an email, stop by B101A, and just connect with me about anything that you might want to know more about in terms of the Academic Senate, governance committees, and all that kind of fun stuff. So thank you for listening, and I'll be back with another President's Report very likely in February for our next set of board meetings. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.